"A man," replied Macbeth, "who dare do more is none." "Why did you write that letter to me?" she inquired fiercely, and with bitter words she egged him on to murder, and with cunning words she showed him how to do it. After supper Duncan went to bed, and 2 grooms were placed on guard at his bedroom door. Lady Macbeth caused them to drink wine till they were stupefied. She then took their daggers and would have killed the king herself if his sleeping face hadn't looked like her father's. Macbeth came later and found the daggers lying by the grooms, and soon with red hands he appeared before his wife, saying, "Methought I heard a voice cry, 'Sleep no more.' Macbeth destroys the sleeping." "Wash your hands," said she. "Why did you not leave the daggers by the grooms? Take them back and smear the grooms with blood." "I dare not," said Macbeth. His wife dared, and she returned to him with hands red as his own, but a heart less white, she proudly told him, for she scorned his fear. The murderers had a knocking, and Macbeth wished it was a knocking which could wake the dead. It was the knocking of Macduff, the chieftain of Fife, who had been told by Duncan to visit him early. Macbeth went to him and showed him the door of the king's room. Macduff entered and came out again crying, "Oh horror! Oh horror!" Macbeth appeared as horror-stricken as Macduff, and pretending that she couldn't bear to see life in Duncan's murderers, she slew the 2 grooms with their own daggers before they could proclaim their innocence. These murders didn't shriek out, and Macbeth was crowned at Scone. One of Duncan's sons went to Ireland, and the other to England. Macbeth was king, but he was discontented. The prophecy concerning Banquo oppressed his mind. If Fleance were to rule, a son of Macbeth would not rule. Macbeth determined, therefore, to murder both Banquo and his son. He hired 2 ruffians, who slew Banquo one night, when he was on his way with Fleance to a banquet which Macbeth was giving to his nobles. Fleance escaped. Meanwhile Macbeth and his queen received their guests very graciously, and he expressed a wish for them which has been uttered thousands of times since his day. Now good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both. "We pray your majesty to sit with us," said Lennox, a Scotch noble. But before Macbeth could reply, the ghost of Banquo entered the banqueting hall and sat in Macbeth's place. Not noticing the ghost, Macbeth observed that if Banquo were present, he could say that he had collected under his roof the choicest chivalry of Scotland. Macduff, however, had curtly declined his invitation. The king was again pressed to take a seat, and Lennox, to whom Banquo's ghost was invisible, showed him the chair where it sat. But Macbeth, with his eyes of genius, saw the ghost. He saw it like a form of a mist and blood, and he demanded passionately, "Which of you have done this?" Still none saw the ghost but he, and to the ghost Macbeth said, "Thou canst not say I did it." The ghost glided out, and Macbeth was imprudent enough to raise a glass of wine to the general joy of the whole table and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. The toast was drunk as the ghost of Banquo entered for the 2nd time. "Begone," cried Macbeth, "you are senseless, mindless. Hide in the earth, thou horrible shadow." Again none saw the ghost but he. "What is it your majesty sees?" asked one of the nobles. The queen dared not permit an answer to be given to this question. She hurriedly begged her guests to quit a sick man who was likely to grow worse if he was obliged to talk. Macbeth, however, was well enough next day to converse with the witches whose prophecies had so depraved him. He found them in a cavern on a thunderous day. They were revolving round a cauldron in which they were boiling particles of many strange and horrible creatures, and they knew he was coming before he arrived. "Answer me what I ask you," said the king. "Would you rather hear it from us or our masters?" asked the first witch. "Call them," replied Macbeth. Thereupon the witches poured blood into the cauldron and grease into the flame that licked it, and a helmeted head appeared with the visor on, so that Macbeth could only see its eyes. He was speaking to the head when the first witch said gravely, "He knows thy